Hello, warriors. Suicide is a tough subject, and I'm not trying to make it any better or romanticize it, but there was definitely things that I've learned from being seriously suicidal. You can see on the link below what happened to me was a mixed crisis where I was having serious suicidal thoughts. I was pretty sure I was going to die, and during that time something happened. I've always been anxious all my life. I've always had fears, like irrational fears, fears that my friends would leave me, fears that I was going to be fired, fears that people wouldn't like me. And all of a sudden, when I became seriously suicidal, I really thought I was to the point where I didn't know if I should buy shopping groceries for the next day because I didn't know if I was gonna be alive the next day. So what would be the fucking point? And at that point, something happened where I didn't give a fuck anymore. I didn't give a fuck what people thought of me. I didn't give a fuck if I was gonna be fired or not. I didn't give a fuck about petty things because what the fuck, I was gonna die anyway. And this is related to my intro. This is a this is a picture from Breaking Bad. I don't know if you know the series, but basically in Breaking Bad, the main character discovers that he has terminal lung cancer, and he's a teacher. He doesn't have a lot of money. He has this like frustrated life because he has always wanted to be a physician and or a chemistry guy, and yeah, for some reason he didn't manage to do it. So when he discovers that he's gonna die anyway, he says, fuck it, I'm gonna start cooking meth. And he starts finally living the life and being happy because he doesn't give a fuck anymore. I don't recommend you start cooking meth. I personally won't do it either. But the principle to keep here is that suicide has taught me that life is finite, that life has an ending, that we are all gonna die anyway. So why should we give a fuck about little things that don't matter? When my suicidal thoughts subsided, they still come and go sometimes, but when they started to subside, I started applying it to other things in my life. I still don't worry as much as I did about what people think of me, for example. I still don't worry about what's gonna happen in my job because I know that, I know that I'm intelligent. I know that I can get another job. I know that I can do things. And especially I'm not afraid to take risks anymore because life is short, and that's what suicide has taught me, is that life is really fucking short, and we spend way too much time worrying about things that don't matter and things that are superfluous, and we should just think about being happy and do what we want in the moment. In the case of the character from Breaking Bad, that would be cooking meth. In your case, it can be anything else. I think, for example, I don't know, in my last depression, this was the second time that I was seriously depressed, but in my first depression 3 years ago, this also happened, and it also has to do with anger. The anger that comes after depression. When you see that, fuck, I was feeling like shit for so long, and no one rescued me, which is normal. Now, the only person that can rescue me is myself. So I'm going to start defending myself. I'm going to start fighting for myself. I'm going to start fighting for what I want because I don't fucking have time. I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for people that don't matter. I don't have time to be shy. I don't have time to be anxious. And that's what suicide a lot of times is. It's just anxiety of what's gonna happen. And if if you're gonna die anyway, you don't have time to be anxious. You have to do what you want to do now, because you're gonna die anyway. If you don't die from suicide, you're gonna die from cancer, you're gonna die from being run over by a car in the street. And this has to do with a sense of also self-protection. When this feeling of suicide, of wanting to kill yourself subsides, a feeling of self-protection arises, and you start fighting for your life, and you're a different person. In a sense, you're a stronger person. Maybe you won't make the right decisions right away, but you are going to be full of this energy and full of this anger and full of this, I don't give a fuck, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. and as long as it's, rational, and don't sell drugs. That's it. But yeah, I'm in general, I'm less caring about what people think, and I'm more willing to take risks. And this is what I've learned. Of course, suicide is not a good thing, and being suicidal is not a good thing. But having been through it can teach us some lessons, and this is the lesson that I've learned. And I hope if you're suicidal and if you're watching this, you can start feeling the same soon. Okay? I understand what suicide is. It's the worst thing in the world to feel suicidal. It's the worst feeling in the world. So if you're feeling like that, just contact me. Don't hesitate. Send me an email. Leave me a comment. Whatever. It can transform in something good. It can transform in something good. It can transform you into a better person. Okay, I'm sending you lots of love and happy healings.